One of the best parts of being a fine gardening editor is visiting extraordinary gardens that most other people don't get to see. Some gardens, like this one in Peterborough, New Hampshire, stay with us long after the photo shoot is finished and the issue has gone to press. This is the home garden of Jamie and Laura Trowbridge. Jamie is an avid vegetable gardener, and Laura designs and maintains the ornamental beds that surround their classic New England home. In Fine Gardening Magazine issue 177, we focused on a long, deep mixed border that wraps around the western side of the house. This garden bed is a focal point in the landscape and can be seen from the kitchen, living room, master bedroom, and back patio. Woody plants, both deciduous and evergreen, give the border year-round structure. The trees and shrubs also help to visually tie the garden to the woodland scenery that surrounds it. As you start to look more closely at the border, you realize how many of its colors and textures come from the unique palette of annual and tropical plants that Laura has added to the mix. These include several spectacular salvias, scarlet magic tassel flower, which dances on slender stems near the border's edge, a castor bean plant, which makes a bold statement amidst finer textures, and violet queen spider flower, a 4-foot-tall beauty that adds splashes of intense color in strategic locations. The lineup of annual and tropical plants changes every year, so designing this border is an ongoing process. Here's Laura to tell us a little bit more about how she does it.
I leave a lot of space for annuals. I would say maybe half the garden is left open for the annuals. And so every year it feels very different. It takes a long time for the annuals really come in. I plant them in the end of May, and by mid-July they're starting to come in. And so I don't really know what I'm going to get until they start doing their thing. And often I use annuals I've never used before. So I'm experimenting, and I'm like just hoping that what I've learned about them is actually going to happen in my garden. This border is really good for annuals because it's a full sun border, and most annuals like sun. I keep the soil really rich with compost every year, or alternating compost and mulch every other year. I fertilize them like once every 2 weeks. So usually I can count on the annuals doing well. I really do think of this garden as a mid to late summer garden. I'm tending right now to have the big bang in the end of the summer, like mid-July through mid-September. It's just so important to leave the space in the gardens. I think that's the hardest part for me and probably for most people, is to plan ahead, leave these gaps in the garden for the annuals. You have to nurse them along with frequent watering and fertilizing and mulching around them and deadheading them. It's a lot of maintenance, but to me it's worth it because you get such amazing colors, the colors and the shapes. They're not your typical plants that you would see in New Hampshire. I think it's just really fun. But it is a lot of work. You have to be up for that.
We are so glad that Laura's up for this work because the results are amazing. With its fascinating mix of plants, this is a garden that just keeps getting better from midsummer until frost. It was so much fun to see it, and even more fun to share it with our readers.